Suncoke Energy. Where's it going and why are we buying more than just a Twits? Coming up. All right, everybody, today we're going to be going over the ticker Suncoke, SXC, and we're going to be diving in right off the bat and going over the fundamentals, why we think it's a good buy, and where the technical setup is. We're also going to be going over what price targets we have, where support and resistance is, and if a trade goes against us, where we're going to be getting out at. All right. We're over here on FinViz, kind of going to start digging into SXC and figure out why we thought it was a buy and where we think it's going to be going. Real quick, we only use FinViz really for a real high overview to quickly consume information about the company and then figure out if it's worth digging deeper into, and then we'll start going over past earnings reports as well as 10Ks, 8Ks, all that fun stuff. What we're looking at with SXC is a market cap of $525 million, which is just over 1/3 of their entire sales. So it's extremely low market cap for what it should be. They're only showing a $3.7 million income. However, that's because they paid off about $100 million in debt, as well as paid out, I want to say $20 million in dividend payments. Their total sales is $1.33 billion. Their book share value is $5.67. And their cash share value is cash to shares is 0.63. We don't necessarily look at these numbers too much. Once we get through this, if we dive more into the balance sheet, we'll basically be able to figure out exactly what we're looking for. The dividend is 3.52, which last year they gave out 24 cents, I believe, in dividends per share that they had. One of the things that they do have is 1.2 billion total in long-term debt. Next year, that's going to be paid out. $3 million of that needs to be paid back. 2022, 3.2 needs to be paid back. 2023, 3.3 needs to be paid back. These are really the years that I'm concerned about because we're probably not going to be holding on to this company much farther past 2022 unless something fundamentally changes about the entire market. Infrastructure package. Then we might look at going a little bit farther into 2023. Now, with that being said, they need to pay off $93 million in debt in 2024, and then 2025 it shoots up to 587. They can roll that out and roll that along, but again, they're probably paying $80 to $100 million a year. I don't know what it's going to be in 2021 in their debt, so they're probably going to be paying this off before it even becomes an issue, or getting it down far enough to where they could roll this 95 and this 587 and probably be down to 150 and maybe roll that out for 3 years and only pay, $30 million in debt, which they're more than capable of doing. But that's kind of the real brief overview of their financial standings as far as the fundamental aspect goes. We might be going a little bit deeper in this on Sunday in our live stream, but not sure yet. Let's dig into the chart now. Again, we're long-term traders, so we're going to be looking at the weekly chart here. As you can see, it's in a nice upward channel, and it's been cruising in that since end of last year. Areas that we're going to be looking at were the 630 to 650 range, which they just broke above this resistance with a little bit of force. Got rejected by the $7 resistance right there, and now we're probably going to be trading sideways in this market until we get to somewhere around this point. It may break down and find that channel again, or it's more than likely to move sideways. Either way, we're prepared for that. Beyond this 727, 730 range of resistance, the next thing we're looking at is the 200 moving average, which sits right now at 795. The next layer above that would be right around the $9 range. And then beyond that, we're looking at kind of an entire area of resistance between $11 and $12, which is kind of our price target for somewhere towards the end of the year. So we're looking at, I don't like doing time frames because my rule of thumb when I'm doing options, if I think something's going to happen in 6 months, I'll go a year out. But we're looking at probably October, November, December, which would put it right around in here. which is right around the end of the year. Not a bad return, especially if we're getting in. We put our position on just below 6. I think our average is about 574, 575. And we're probably going to be adding once we break above this resistance and increasing our position. From a risk management standpoint, if we got rejected by the 200, we'd probably be looking at booking profits and then putting that trade back on above the 200 once it broke with some ambition. Again, at the $9 resistance area, if we got rejected quite a bit there, we'd probably be looking at booking profits and then putting a trade back on above that. This whole 11, 12 range, really anything above 11, we're going to be happy with booking profits as far as our total trade. We might look back at it if fundamentals have gotten better to deem it necessary. If it broke above that $12 range, because you're looking at probably going from 12 to 14. And then on a longer time frame, and there's that $14 that it kind of topped out in 1819. Or 1819. Beyond that, if it did kind of break above that, we'd start looking and targeting, the 18 to 24 range. But we haven't seen that since 2014, 2015. If it somehow broke above that, we'd probably be looking at somewhere between the range of $30 to $40. But we haven't seen that in over 14 years. So that'd be a hefty move. This is a monthly chart. So again, our current short-term, mid-term target is about that $11 to $12 range. And we're looking at somewhere around the end of the year. If it breaks down out of this channel at the same point as a resistance point, it's a good time to book profits as well. We'll be updating this probably once a month as time goes on and really tracking and seeing where it's at and where it's developed. Oh, that was our overview of SXC. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out on our Patreon page. If you do like the content that we're creating and you'd like to directly support our work, check out the Patreon. You can also find us on Twitter and StockTwits.